Now to your community focus at 4, the latest round of child tax credit payments scheduled to be issued tomorrow. Some people reported late payments over the last 2 months or deposits of odd amounts.
Here to answer questions about that and other tax-related issues, Melissa Travis. She's the president and CEO of the Rhode Island Society of CPAs. Melissa, thanks for being here.
Good afternoon, guys. Nice to see you again.
Glad you're with us again. Let's start off. Remind us, if you can, who is getting these payments and when are they coming in?
So approximately 35 million families across the United States are getting these child tax credit payments. They're known as advance payments. They are not anything in addition to, these are the normal child tax credit payments, but under the American Rescue Plan Act, they actually were increased. But they also wanted to include lower income families who don't necessarily file a tax return. So they made these credits, they're called refundable tax credits. So a refundable tax credit means the amount of the credit is larger than what you owe, or especially that's true if you don't pay taxes. So the refundable credit means you're actually going to get a refund. So for this month, tomorrow is the date that the payment will be made, October 15th. And going forward, there are 2 more months of payments that started back in July. It will be November 15th and December 15th.
And Melissa, there is a way to opt out. Why would someone consider doing that? And is it too late to do so?
So if you wanted to opt out for the payment tomorrow, it is too late to do so. You needed to do that by October 4th. If you want to opt out for the November 15th payment, you're going to need to do that by November 1st. And the final payment, December 15th, the final date to opt out is November 29th. Why would someone want to opt out? Well, there's several reasons why. You may, at the end of the day, you never want to owe the IRS money. That is the most important takeaway from this. So if you are a family on the upper income spectrum of the income limit, you may have other income that they're not aware of, that the IRS doesn't take into consideration, because remember, this is based on the taxes that you filed for 2020 or 2019 if they don't have your 2020 return. So they may not know about any outside income, investment income, and that. The other thing is, a lot of families have used this for budgeting purposes. You may have a CPA or an investment advisor or estate planner that uses this money or a big refund, a big one-time lump sum payment to help you get ahead on your debt. So there could be many reasons why you want to opt out, but I would say the most important is if your income is over the limit the IRS is aware of, you certainly don't want to be owing anything to the IRS.
Melissa, we mentioned when we started talking with you today, some people reported delays with those previous payments. Is there anything people can do to avoid that happening, or do you notice people do something that throws off the system?
We haven't seen any pattern in why they are thrown off, but if the IRS is missing income information or missing information from a previous tax return, they usually will notify you. They have been really good at sending out notices, and there is a child tax credit portal. So anyone with those questions, I would urge them to visit the IRS website and check out that portal. They can log in, they can see exactly what information the IRS has, and they can also opt out to those future payments if they want to do that as well.
And we also mentioned that we've heard of people getting payments that aren't the right amount, either too much or too little. What should someone do if they get a check or a direct deposit that doesn't seem like it's the proper amount for this child tax credit?
Okay, again, I would visit the portal. Certainly that is your number one. If you have a CPA or you're using someone that's doing your taxes, I would speak to them. That would be the most important. If you have questions on that, we do have some great IRS community advocates, taxpayer advocates that work, liaisons, trying to resolve issues. But for the most part, again, it's most likely the IRS has incorrect or information that has not been updated, and that is what is skewing your payments.
And we so often talk about deadlines, especially with the IRS and the federal government. Today is an important filing deadline, and not just for parents. What should folks know?
So actually the deadline is tomorrow. For the entire tax world, October 15th is a very, very big day, because if you filed extensions like millions of Americans, tomorrow is your final day to get those returns in. And again, I want to just remind you that even if you filed an extension, you still had to pay your estimated tax due back when we spoke on May 17th. So if you have not done that, you're probably incurring both fines and penalties. So your extended federal tax return, if you filed an extension, is due tomorrow. Your state returns are due tomorrow. Rhode Island follows Fed, as we've talked about on this show. Tomorrow is also a big day in Rhode Island. For the many who have asked about the disaster zone declarations, Rhode Island is not one of those states, so there is no extension on that. However, if you are living overseas, if you're living abroad, or you are stationed in a combat zone, you may have extended time to pay. The other two things that are important: if you contribute to a simplified employee pension, if you contribute to a solo 401, a lot of small business owners and independent owners, business owners like those, tomorrow is the last day to reconcile that. And I would say the most important thing is, if you have overpaid on your IRA contribution, you have a max that you can do for each year. I know that's crazy, and I don't know anybody that's ever overpaid into their IRA, but if you have, tomorrow is the last day to reconcile that. Otherwise, you actually pay a 6% penalty every year that you haven't fixed that.
A wealth of information, as always. Melissa Travis, the president and CEO of the Rhode Island Society of CPAs. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure, guys. Have a great day.
You too.